The last thing I want to do after staying up way too late editing is wake up. But it's time for work. Apparently the sun didn't really want to get up today either. Yeah, I forgot to bring the trash cans up last night because I was tired. Ooh. That's special hair. I guess I should go get ready for work. And 3, 2. Whew, that's better. Okay, well, good morning, brothers and sisters, and welcome to Mission Zero. If this is your first time here, my name is Shawn, and this is Vlogmas, and I think we're up to episode 6 now. I don't know why I can lose count on something that's under 10, but anyway, episode 6, and I have got to log into work because I was actually running a little bit behind this morning, so I'll let you know what we're going to talk about here in just a minute and put this on a tripod so you can get rid of the shaky cam thing. Alright, peace. So, I know we've been going through the Beatitudes, but we're not actually going to stick with that today, I think. We're going to drop way down in Matthew 5. We're still going to stay in here, right? Because Matthew chapter 5 is referred to as the Sermon on the Mount, right? Because Jesus climbs up on a mountain and he's giving this lecture. And I want to talk about the very last verse here, and it is Matthew 5:48, which is, "But be yourselves perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect." If you have followed my channel for any amount of time, you will know, because we've talked about the word perfect a couple of times, that perfect in the Bible never ever means flawless. It means complete. Now, there's a couple of things that are really interesting to me in that verse, but the one that jumps out the most is it reminds me of a quote by a poet named Lucille Clifton that I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember exactly, but it is, "The universe does not tell you what to do, the universe tells you what to be, and that's much harder." And this is exactly what Jesus is saying. So in verse 48, he has wrapped up his sermon. He's really kind of starting to wind it down here. And he is finished going into some detail about, hey, the law says that you should not murder your brother. But I say, if you even carry anger in your heart towards him, you have done worse than murder. And this is Jesus's way of saying, I'm not trying to tell you, and the law is not trying to tell you what to do or what not to do. It's trying to tell you who to be. And that is a world of difference that is so critical. And I really need to eat because I am starving. So I'm going to take a lunch break and I will be back after that. So peace. Okay, so had some lunch and yeah, feeling better now. So what you do versus who you are. I think that's an incredibly important distinction, and clearly so did Jesus because he talked about it a whole lot. You know, there is this huge upsurge now in the last year or so to really help people try and break the failure obsession. You know, it's okay to fail. Don't stigmatize failure. And we all mean that for the simple mistake, the first time. But what about failures that just keep happening? What about when you keep tripping over your own feet? What about when you fall down the same rabbit hole many times? Well, we still need to stigmatize that. We still need to make you feel bad about that because, well, you're not doing well enough. Well, no, that has to be punished, right? We can't allow ourselves to get away with having multiple of the same mistake. That just means that we're awful people. But again, This is that key difference. It's not about what you do. It's about who you are. Now think about that, because when we get back, we're going to talk about the second thing that really fascinates me about Matthew 5:48. So hang on and we'll be right back. Okay, end of the workday. I see night. Not what I thought my schedule was going to be like today. So the second thing that I think is interesting about Matthew 5:48 is this is Jesus's version of knocking down microaggressions, right? I know that term sort of gets a bad rap for anybody who's not a millennial and, truly understands it, but the intent of the attack on microaggressions is that they are these cultural biases, these just sort of practiced things that we pick up in our language and our attitudes that can be detrimental. And that is exactly what Jesus is attacking really all through the Sermon on the Mount, but particularly when he gives this, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And there again, that word perfect just means complete. He's really saying, try to be as unbiased as you can. Try to be as open and loving as God is towards people, right? God shows this intense love for us, this open and accepting love and patience. And we don't deserve a drop of that, right? And so this is what Jesus is saying. Extend that same compassion, that same grace, that same connectedness to everyone that you meet. Be it somebody who robbed you or hit you across the face or whatever it is. If someone has wronged you or if you have wronged yourself, extend grace, extend compassion. This is really what I want to wrap for us today and give us this exhortation as we head into, I guess, tomorrow, since it's going to be posted too late to do anything about it today. One of my old bosses used to say this thing: if I say something and you can take it two ways, and one of those ways makes you angry and upset, I meant the other one, right? And this is kind of this is what Jesus is saying we should have to all people. Try to reduce the number of times you say something that can be taken a good way and a bad way. But for the love of God, when you hear something that can be taken one of two ways, don't just go off and presume the awful thing. And so that's sort of my message. I know it's going to turn out a little long and maybe a little drawn out, and I apologize for that, but it's really, really important stuff here. So I hope that you can use that to become even youier, and may God pour out the blessings of grace and contentment and perspective and acceptance to you and to me and in you and in me, that we can all get along just a little bit better tomorrow. And I love you, and peace out.